Hi guys, I hope you can hear me clearly. Sorry, I had to schedule another live stream because of the previous one. There was network problem, so I had to schedule another one. I hope you can hear me clearly. You're coming in, like this live stream, like and share, like and share the live stream, like and share. Okay. All right. So this issue of Miss World Nigeria 2026 pageant um started off, I think, in January, because I remember vividly when they started selling the forms. I think it was even in December last year that I saw the advert of the on their page, on their Instagram page, where they selling the form, and I was like, I went through the whole details and everything. I found out that the form was being sold for 50,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, well, it's not too much, or wasn't too much, or as in the price was not that high. So I was like, okay, probably I'm gonna have a lot more contestants this year than last year, because you guys know that last year was the first edition of the pageant. So I was expecting to even see more candidates this year. But to my surprise, the way the entrance video were coming in, it was not coming in numbers. It was coming in little by little. It wasn't that much of a, I don't know how to put it. Like, we're not seeing as much turnout as I was expecting. And for me, I thought, what really happened? What really happened? Why are we not having that much um number of contestants this year? In as much as they've posted some videos of the entrance of the contestants that are vying for this year's pageant, but it was not as much as I was expecting. Being the fact that this is the second edition, and a lot more persons might likely be interested to participate this year, but it's not the same. And what's really happening the um to the to the quality of contestants, or the quantity of contestants that usually vie for this particular pageant? Because I remember during the MBGN days, it used to be very, very high. Like, in fact, when you see the crowd of people that come in to for the screening, because they usually have two screening processes. I think the first one and second one, yeah, two screening processes. Okay, so usually during the MBGN days, we used to have a lot more people coming in. We have about, you see people coming. In fact, the screening center is usually very, very crowded. But this time around, we're not seeing a lot of people coming in, and I don't know if it's something that has to do with the organization, or is the economy. Because in as much as I'm looking at, okay, probably some persons are not, probably it's not the organization, it's the economy. Be- you know the form is 50,000 naira, and I know that a lot of persons are not financially buoyant now because of the economy of Nigeria. Lots of things are currently going on. But at the same time, I think when you are preparing for a pageant, you should know that you have to spend money. If you don't have money, don't even bother yourself. I used to say it here on my channel that if you don't have money, don't bother yourself coming for pageant, to especially in Nigeria here, where you know that money is important. It's not those days that you see people coming to sponsor someone for pageant. These days, if you don't have money, physical money, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for you to even navigate through the whole process, the pageant process, and all that. So I was thinking, probably at least the form that is too expensive. That is why we don't have people. That was what I was. That's my thoughts, because I'm like, the form is 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira is not a is huge, but at least it's affordable to get the form. But I'm like, probably they might want to reduce the amount so they can get more entrance. But at the end of the day, quality matters in pageantry. So even if you say you reduce it to 10,000 naira, the amount of people that want to apply also depends on what the organization are looking for, because you don't want a lot of crowd and they are trying to minimize the crowd. Because if you watch the previous contest, we have lower or fewer contestants. Like last year, I think we just had about 20 states that was presented. So they're trying to reduce the number of contestants and also the number of people finalists. I think that is what is really going on currently in the under the Silverbird franchise. So probably they're trying to reduce the number of contestants so that they can have time to scrutinize and screen the ladies very well. Or probably some of the ladies are not really interested in pageantry these days because of what's happening. Because we know how pageant is these days. If you don't have the money and if you don't have the connections, it's going to be difficult. And I used to say before now that if you're coming for a pageant and you don't have the necessary equipment, or you don't have the necessary mentorship or the necessary coach, my dear, don't even bother yourself. Come back when you are ready, because it's a whole different game entirely now. Financing is very, very important in pageantry because you have a lot of things to do, you know, things the price of quality accessories, clothing and all that is much more expensive than before. And the money is not easy to come by now. So most of these ladies are not really working, or probably they are just starting off, just finished school and they want to go into pageantry and they don't have sponsors. So if you don't have sponsors, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to have a very successful pageant. So probably those are the reasons why there's a bit of low turnout in this year's pageant. Because when I look at the number of entrants, it's still like the old faces. It's more or less like a recycling of old faces in the beauty pageant industry here in Nigeria. And also just few new faces that came into the show. So I don't know. I don't know what's really going on right now. Um I think it has to do with the the economy, or probably the organization at this point. Because a lot of girls now are looking at, you know, if you don't have the connection or if you are not financially buoyant, looking at how they can get sponsors to sponsor them. They're looking at how they can also, gain and experience, because going into this Miss World Nigeria pageant is a lot. Miss World is like the highest ranked pageant here in Nigeria. So you need a lot of experience. You need a lot of training. You need a lot of coaching. You need a lot of um, finances. You need a lot of mentorship. There's a lot that goes into participating in Miss World Nigeria. So you also need to have a working foundation, a foundation that has to do with your pet project, a foundation that is currently um ongoing. Do you understand? Like, not something that is just you just that just came up. It has to be a foundation that has been working for some time. You've done projects with the foundation. You've done a lot with the foundation. So it's not something that you just wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I want to set up a foundation," and you're going for a pageant the next day. Okay, so the persons will feel like, oh, the franchise holders will feel like you're not serious. Okay, so you need to have been in the system for a longer time, and it's money for to hold the foundation, to have a foundation that talks about a non-governmental organization, a charity organization, a charitable foundation is a lot of money. Okay, so it's gonna be difficult for some persons to navigate all that and come into pageantry. All right, so we have Norma Garcia. Oh, sorry, I can't pronounce this your name. Oh, you said hello. Hi, where are you chatting from? You're welcome to my channel. Please like this video, like and share. Okay. So, like I was saying, it's a lot because you have to be um experienced. You have to have a working foundation, something that is already in place, that has been doing a lot of charitable works before. Because Miss World, like I said before, is not all about pretty face and modeling, or strutting the runway. It's a lot that goes into the Miss World pageant. It's not about the pretty face. It's about your intellect. It's about your humanitarian works. What have you done? What impact do you have in society? So a lot of these ladies here in Nigeria, they're just starting off. And when you're starting off into pageantry, I think Miss World Nigeria, it's more or less like a huge platform. So most of these ladies are looking at it like, oh, they're not even ready. They need to do a lot more for them to be able to grace the stage and come out victorious. All right. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying my own opinion. I don't know if you have your own opinion or whatever you think it's the cause of the low turn up, for contestants this year. But at the same time, I still feel like probably a lot of the girls are still trying to get their acts together to come back in subsequent years, while we have old faces, those that have represented Nigeria before, or they've gone for pageants before, at least they have the experience and they're coming back. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I already told you guys that there's a lot of beauty queens that have already, that have that are currently in the running for Miss World Nigeria. They are not new faces, okay? They've been in the stage before, okay? And like I said, it's a lot of work participating in beauty pageant. It's not just one day thing. You need the experience. You need a lot of mentorship. So I feel those are the reasons why a lot of contestants are shying away from coming out or from contesting in the pageant. And also for me, I feel like it's not all about the contestant. It's also about the organization, the silverbird organization. What are they doing to get more contestants to comment on their pageant? Are they going on to scout for girls or for quality candidates, or they're just you know like, what have they done so far to be able to attract more contestants? We also, if you blame you also have to also blame the organization as well. What have they done so far to be able to scout for pretty and qualified candidates? What have they done so far? What has the organization done on their own part? Those days I heard they usually go to universities and scout for ladies. They scout for people that they are fit into what they are looking for. But that was then when there was no social media. Now that the social media, a lot of things have reduced. Like a lot of um dynamics have changed. You understand? um it's easier now to get people to participate in a pageant, unlike before where you have to go in there and scout for those girls. But now social media has made things easier, so you can apply via social media. I think the mode of application now is to go onto their website and do the process, pay your fees, that's the entrance fee, the form, fill your form online, get all the details and upload. Then it's only time you get to see the girls is during the screening process. And most times they even do online screening process. That's for the first stage. Usually do first stage online screening process before they now go into the second stage, which is the physical screening. So it's more or less like very easy now. Okay. Um Doing the manual process of scouting for ladies, I don't know if it's going to be stressful, but at the same time I think they can still reach out to persons that they feel like they have a chance. I don't know, they can still do the manual process and the online process side by side, and get quality contestants. Because to me, I for one, I feel like anybody can just go and contest because they feel, "Oh, okay, I meet the criteria, let me contest." Do you understand? But that's a different process by you going to manually look for ladies that you feel that they have a chance. So there are two different things altogether. But I feel like in this day and age, social media is the best platform now that people used to reach out. Okay, so they are still, it's still a I won't fault them, because of course this is the technological era, so anything can happen. It's easier for you to just scout for ladies online, and they come and apply, and you do the screening process and all. But at the same time, I still feel like if they can also carry out the manual process, it's fine. It's still okay. But I wouldn't know the actual cause of the low turnout. I wouldn't know about that. You know, I'm just guessing. I'm just saying my own opinion. It might be what I said, or it might be a different thing entirely. That is the reason why we didn't have a lot more contestants this year. For me, I think that the more the better. At least we're able to choose more. But with the quality of contestant we have this year, like I said before, it's still okay. At least they will have enough time to concentrate on the ones that they have and bring out the best out of them. Okay. So let's see how it goes, because there's still time. People are still applying. Person are still applying. We've not really heard um if the closing dates, if they've closed the date for application. I think the application is still ongoing. So whoever are still interested in vying for this year's Miss World Nigeria, you have the time to do that. So probably I think they might end the sales of the form by the end of the month. I don't know. But for now, the sale is still ongoing. So, anyways, like I said, we still have a lot more people coming in. So, obviously, we might have a lesser representative this year, because you guys know that after the first screening process, they cut down. And now after the second screening process, they cut down as well. So, probably we might have less representation this year, probably maybe 20 states or 15 states, But I think the less they are, the better, because at the end of the day, they might be able to, focus more on the ones that are available, than when they have a lot more, when they have crowd and all that. But for me, I choose quantity. And sorry, I choose quality over quantity, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a quality representative. We're looking for a lady that will walk on that Miss World stage and, rekindle the days where Nigeria used to be a powerhouse in Miss World. Okay, so that is what we're looking for. We're not looking for a crowd. So we need a lady that can go onto that Miss World stage and represent the country very well and bring back the crown. Because, like I said, the crown has not been we have not had since 2001 that Akbane won the Miss World crown. We've not had a crown since then, a major crown since then. And at this point, Nigeria really, really deserves another major crown. Okay, yes. So I'll choose quality over quantity any day, anytime. But at the same time, I think the more we have, the better the chances of getting, somebody better. Okay, so that is just it. That is my own opinion. For those of you that were watching, what do you think? Could be the reason for the low turnout of contestants this year. What do you think could be the reason, and what are the solutions? Because in as much as we are saying we are talking about the reasons or the probable cause, we need to talk about the solutions. What are the solutions? What is the organization doing to get more or attract more contestants? What is the organization doing? What have they done so far? What is their input to make sure that they get quality contestants? So that is just it. That is my own opinion. Comment down below your own thoughts if you're going to be watching the live stream. For me, I wish we had more contestants, but at the same time, I would choose quality over quantity anytime. Yeah, that's just my own opinion. Okay, so like I said, we are yet to get the screening date. We are yet to get any information from the Miss World Nigeria organization. So far, just posted some entrance video. I don't think they posted everything on their channel. So I don't think they posted all the whole entrance video. So probably we might get to see new faces during the reveal of the grand of the finalists. Okay, yeah, I think we'll get to see new faces. But for now, these are what we are working with. The ones that were posted are what we're working with. Okay, so probably there might be new faces that will be unveiled. After the screening process and all that. So let's look forward to that. And also, Um, I don't know what's going on because today is the 15th of March, so I think by now they should be gearing up to, choosing the date for the screening process and all that. So at least let's have a pageant. The earlier the better, because Miss World is in May. So if we don't have, or if we don't choose our candidates earlier enough, or early enough rather, whoever is choosing will not have enough time to prepare for the Miss World pageant. I know Miss World is all about, you need to be well grounded, well prepared. It's not about the beautiful face or whatever. It's all about your acts of service. Okay, so whoever is going to come in would have been preparing way ahead of time before now for the Miss World stage, because of course you need to have your pet project. You need to have um your charitable foundation, a working one at that. Like I said in the beginning of this live stream. Okay, so it's not somebody that just woke up today and say I want to participate in pageant. It's somebody that have done a lot of underground work, somebody that has antecedents, that has um experience. Okay, so I don't know at this point. It's kind of dicey because at the end of the day we need an experienced queen. Okay, that is what we need at the end of the day. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm not gonna say much, but if you are watching the live stream, let us know your thoughts on this particular topic, okay? Thank you so much for joining me today and have a lovely, lovely Sunday. Good night and bye.